I never thought I'd be thankful for my great-grandfather's wary nature. But as I stood watching construction crews tear into our family's land on a crisp September morning, I realized his foresight would change everything. My name's Caleb, and the 80-acre plot had been passed down through my family for generations. My great-grandfather, Samuel, bought it in 1919, working multiple jobs to afford it. He passed it to my grandfather, who handed it to my father, and finally to me, a legacy spanning generations. It was a quiet morning, and I was sipping coffee on the back porch when I heard machinery. At first, I mistook it for distant thunder, but as I climbed the hill for a better view, my heart sank. 3 massive bulldozers were plowing into the eastern edge of our land, with surveyors staking out a perfect grid. "Hey!" I shouted, running toward a woman in a crisp gray suit who seemed in charge. "What's going on?" "This is my land." She turned, giving me the look you get when you interrupt someone mid-task. "This isn't your property, sir," she said. "This area is scheduled for development by Horizon Estates. We have all the proper permits." Anger surged through me. "I'm Caleb Morgan. My family has owned this land for over a century. There's a mistake." Her smile didn't waver, but her eyes sharpened as she pulled out a tablet. "Mr. Morgan, I'm Rachel Carter, Development Director for Horizon HOA. According to county records, this area was deemed abandoned and approved for our Oak Grove expansion. All legal steps have been followed." She showed me a map revealing that nearly 30 acres of my property had been reclassified. "This can't be right," I said, my voice trembling. "I've got the original deed. This has always been Morgan land." Her smile grew colder. "Our records say otherwise. Contact our legal department if you have concerns, but our lawyers specialize in property law. This project is moving forward." She walked away, leaving me helpless as the bulldozers continued, laying foundations for houses that shouldn't exist. What Rachel didn't know was that she'd walked her company into a trap my great-grandfather set nearly a century ago, a clause so obscure it would turn their ambitious development into Horizon Estates' biggest mistake. For days, I waded through bureaucracy. The county assessor's office said property boundaries were adjusted in a regional survey last year. When I asked why I wasn't notified, the clerk shrugged, saying notices were sent, but mine might have been lost. The building inspector was no help. "All permits are in order. Horizon submitted everything correctly. Hire a surveyor if you dispute the boundaries." I consulted 3 property attorneys, but they all warned that Horizon's legal team was ruthless. "You're looking at years of litigation," one said. "Legal fees could hit hundreds of thousands with no guaranteed win." Meanwhile, construction ramped up. Every morning, I watched from the ridge as more land was cleared and foundations poured. Within 2 weeks, frameworks for the first homes were rising. Rachel occasionally spotted me and gave a smug wave. "You're wasting your time, Mr. Morgan," she called one morning. "We've got homeowners moving in within 3 months. This is happening." I was close to giving up when something my father once said resurfaced. He'd mentioned that our deed had special protections because great-grandpa Samuel was paranoid about developers stealing our land. That night, I dug into the old oak chest where we kept family documents. The original deed, yellowed but preserved in a plastic sleeve, was there. I pored over its dense legal text, searching for anything unusual. 3 hours and 2 cups of coffee later, I found a buried clause. Should any individual or entity construct any form of improvement upon this land without express written consent from the rightful owner or heir, said improvements shall immediately and irrevocably become the property of the land's rightful owner, with no obligation for compensation to those responsible for the improvements. My hands shook as I reread it. Samuel hadn't just protected our land. He'd set a legal trap. Every house Horizon built would automatically become mine once completed. I called Henry Lawson, an elderly lawyer and my father's old friend. After reviewing the deed, his eyes widened. "Caleb, this is brilliant. Samuel's foresight is incredible. This clause is recorded with the original deed and legally binding. Any structure on your land becomes yours." "Should I tell them to stop?" I asked. Henry grinned. "You could, but it might be better to wait." "Wait for what?" I pressed. "The more they build, the more they lose," he said. "Let them finish all 156 homes. Once they're done, every single one legally belongs to you. It'll be Horizon's costliest mistake." That night, I stood on my porch, watching construction lights glow in the distance. For the first time since this nightmare began, I smiled. Rachel thought she was building a neighborhood. In reality, she was building my retirement, one house at a time. Have you ever had to be patient to claim what's rightfully yours? It was one of the hardest things I've done, watching them build day after day on our land. But sometimes, the best revenge takes time. The next 2 months were surreal. Construction became my morning alarm, beeping trucks and pounding hammers, transforming peaceful farmland into a thriving neighborhood that would soon be mine. I hired 2 more attorneys to confirm Henry's findings. Both agreed the clause was airtight. One called it a legal time bomb. I documented everything: daily photos, videos of workers on my property, a detailed log of conversations, and a surveyor's report verifying the original property lines. As construction progressed, Horizon wasn't just building homes, they were creating a community. Roads were paved, utilities installed, and houses popped up, ready for sale. By November, 30 homes were complete, with 50 more in progress, priced from $450,000. One afternoon, I saw Rachel giving a tour to potential buyers. She waved me over with a forced smile. "Mr. Morgan, meet the Wilsons. They're buying the Colonial on Oak Drive." The couple smiled nervously, unaware of the dispute. The house she pointed to was on my land. "Very nice," I said, walking away. That night, Henry's words echoed. As the final homes took shape, I knew Rachel and Horizon had underestimated Samuel. Patience had paid off, and the land was returning to its rightful owner.